Our next candidate was the first Democrat to declare his candidacy this cycle. And right away, John Delaney started visiting the Granite State to speak with voters one-on-one. When he sat down with us for breakfast, the former U.S. Rep from Maryland talked about making the campaign decision with his family and his desire to serve the public. John Delaney believes he's ready for the White House on day one. But as for his dog, well, he's not so sure about her.
And the only dog we have left is a Maltese. She's not really like the right dog to film your presidential commercial. And her name is Mimi. So the story of this Maltese is, and I love Mimi. Mimi's great. She's like 14 or 15. But Mimi was given to one of my daughters by my mom, and she didn't tell us. She came down for her birthday, and she gives my daughter Brooke a dog. And we had two dogs at the point, and I was like, Mom, what's going on here? Like, there's certain things you got to clear with us.
The entrepreneur and former congressman says job number one is being a dad. And with a 15-year age range between his oldest and youngest girls, he's put in the time.
You know, my oldest daughter just got married. Congratulations. Yeah, I'm very happy. It was great. It was a beautiful wedding, and I love my son-in-law. And but you realize, I have 4 daughters, you realize that they start leaving the nest. And that time with them becomes so precious. I went trick-or-treating with Grace this year. She's 12. And April and I, my wife April, we were saying, you know, this may be probably the last time. And I was like, I've been going trick-or-treating for 26 straight years. Because my oldest daughter's 27, but her birthday's the end of October, so I don't think we took her trick-or-treating when she was 5 days old. But we definitely did the next year when she was 1, carrying her around in some things, you know. And so literally I've been trick-or-treating for 26 straight years. I was like, wow, the sun is setting on my trick-or-treating career.
And you dress up when you did you dress up this year?
I didn't dress up this year.
As a presidential candidate, what would you wear?
Well, that's the thing. You know, you got an image. You know, I might dress up as Adam Sexton, put on a toupee, carry around a camera and a mic, and make believe I'm interviewing the next president of the United States, and I'd have like a dummy there, which would be me. And I'd say, the question would come, God, you're such a good candidate. How do you do it? And the dummy would say, well, it just comes natural to me.
Delaney achieved success in business, but he also knows his way around the kitchen.
I know you happen to be a really great cook. Do you enjoy cooking gourmet or?
I enjoy cooking Italian food, actually. You know what I like about cooking is I like to eat. So we'll start with that. But it's also one of those things in life where you get immediate gratification.
Absolutely.
So I like to cook Italian dishes. Probably my favorite thing to cook is ossobuco.
Oh, yes.
Do you like ossobuco? Yeah.
Very much.
I make a good ossobuco, I think. It tends to be a little more red than brown sauce, which is another question with ossobuco. Do you go a little more red or do you go a little more tomatoey? I mean, do you go a little more brown or do you go a little more tomatoey? I tend to go a little more tomatoey.
My spouse and I, she's from Brooklyn, New York, and I'm from New Hampshire, and she calls what you put on spaghetti gravy. Yeah. And I just want what. That's wrong?
I think it's wrong.
Okay, good.
Gravy is what you put on mashed potatoes.
That's exactly right. It's
Gravy
brown.
is what you put on turkeys.
Right.
Sauce is what you put on pasta.
Okay, good. All right, good. I'm less undecided now.
And she's from Brooklyn and she calls it gravy.
Really? Yeah. Is your wife Italian? Is your wife Italian?
Yeah.
Well, we call it gravy. You know?
Really?
I grew up as gravy.
Yeah.
Most Italians
That's what she
would.
said.
Philly calls it gravy.
And do you use a spoon or not use a spoon to twirl your spaghetti?
I would say I use a spoon to twirl my linguine, not my spaghetti.
Right answer.
Delaney grew up in a working-class household in New Jersey with parents who had big plans for their son.
I was the first in my family to go to college. My dad was an electrician. My parents actually wanted me to be a doctor. And that's why I went to Columbia, and I started thinking I was going to be a doctor because I was a good student. And back then, you know, if you come from that blue-collar background, doctors were deeply admired, as they should be in the community. And that was considered kind of, you know, of that next phase of that immigrant family thing. You know, my child's going to be a doctor. So I went to Columbia to be a doctor, but I quickly realized that wasn't what I wanted to do because I was working at St. Luke's Hospital in the pediatric emergency room, as a volunteer, and then I was doing research at Columbia Presbyterian Medical Center on monoclonal antibodies during my summer after freshman year. And I was like, I'm exposed to like the best of this world, and I don't really like it. The problem is I had to tell my parents I wasn't going to go to medical school because they were really into it and they had sacrificed a lot.
Instead, he went to law school and then into business.
So I was practicing law for 1 year, and myself and 2 law school classmates, we wanted to kind of get into business, but none of us had any money, which was a huge problem. So there was a company for sale in the Washington Post for $15,000, and that's what interested us, because we each could come up with $5,000. So we put in the $15,000 and we bought a company, and it was in the home health care business. So it sent nurses into people's homes. And it was located in Washington, D.C., and it was by far the worst home health care company in Washington, D.C. So we bought it, and we ran it, we turned it around, and grew it, and sold it to a big home care company, and made a little money. But what I realized when I was running that business is that I had a very hard time getting a bank loan, because this was the early 90s, and no banks would lend to us, because Secretary Clinton, in part, who I'm a huge fan of, was proposing to completely change the U.S. healthcare system, and it created a real chill in the banking industry on lending to healthcare companies. And I said, that's crazy. These healthcare companies, if you understand them, are very good prospects. So then I started a company to lend money to healthcare companies, small to mid-sized healthcare companies. And I basically started a business, and I raised money to do it, to basically be a bank for them.
That business bank took off and made Delaney the youngest CEO of a company on the New York Stock Exchange. He transitioned to public service and 3 terms in Congress, and he now holds the distinction of being the longest tenured presidential candidate in the race, having launched his campaign back in 2017.
What do you like most about campaigning?
This stuff.
Okay.
I'll tell you, the worst part about campaigning is when you're sitting in kind of inside the Beltway and talking to people who are kind of pundits and have a view about what the country's looking for. Because you sit there and you're like, you actually don't have any idea what the country's looking for because you don't actually go out and talk to people. But the best part is actually talking to people. When you go out and talk to people, you really realize what you can do to improve people's lives. And it's what I like, there's no question it's what I like best about doing this.
We invited the major Democratic Party candidates actively campaigning in New Hampshire to join us for our Cafe series. Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, and Tom Steyer were the only ones to turn that invitation down. President Trump's campaign did not respond to our request. But one of his main challengers did, and revealed how his unusual theater training prepared him for a life in politics. Also ahead, why Andrew Yang's brief time in the legal field made him so sad.